Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are baking together. So if you would like to learn a new pancake recipe and how to teach your children how to wait on the Lord, then join me as we start baking together. This is actually a message for me, one that I need to follow, and so Pastor Andrew reminded us of Psalm 27:14 of
And it says, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord."
And if you notice with that passage, it tells us twice to wait on the Lord. So Pastor Andrew gave us his definition of waiting on the Lord, and it was waiting while you're actively doing the work of the Lord until he calls you home for dinner. You're welcome to follow this recipe. It's a really good recipe for breakfast pancakes. But I encourage you to find something that your child loves to eat but might take some time to wait to in the oven or cooking or whatever. If it's a really young child, this is a great activity because they can see what's happening while it's bubbling up, while the pancakes are heating up. So today for this activity, you will need 1 cup of flour, which I already have in here. It can be any cup that you would like. 1 cup of Greek yogurt, so I'm just going to put that in. 1/2 cup of milk. I used almond milk. 2 eggs. Well, actually, I'm going to wait on the 2 eggs, and I'll tell you why in a second. A dash of salt. I'm just going to use my hand. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. A tablespoon of sugar. And that's really all the sugar it is because you have the Greek yogurt. So this is a fairly healthy pancake. I would stir it up, or let your child stir it up, and I would let your child do all of this. I don't know if you've seen online the grandma that's letting her kid bake with, or her grandchild bake with her all the time, and every time you put something in the bowl, all they want to do is eat it. I'm sure that might be like some of your children too, and that's why I waited on the egg, because what we're teaching the children as they're doing this is about God's timing. Everything, baking is a perfect example for God's timing, and a reminder that you have to wait the appropriate time. There's purpose to waiting in everything you do with baking. And so we can teach the children that. Remember, we talked about children learn best through their senses. So it's okay if you didn't put the egg in. Ask them a question like, do you think we could eat this now? It looks like a big ball of dough. I'm hoping they say no, but if they're anything like that poor grandma online, then maybe they put their hands right in there. So I encourage you to get a spoon and just let them have a little taste, a very small taste. I don't mean to spoon feed them for real. And ask them, okay, how did that taste? Was it good? Do you think we should wait? And just asking those types of questions. Do you think it's ready? All right, so I mixed it up. I'm going to add my little bit of vanilla, just a teaspoon or a 1/2 teaspoon, and then my 2 eggs. Right? And again, I would let the kids do all of this. Let them be as involved as you possibly can, because their involvement is also important to this conversation. Stir it up, a nice, smooth, regular dough. Then it's time to bake. So whatever you decided to bake, that is fine. But I would encourage you to have the child wait a little bit and watch it, or come back if it's going to be a while, then come back and and see what's happening with it, because then that goes back to Pastor Andrew's definition where it's actively working while we wait on the Lord. And I would encourage you to ask questions like, do you think we should take it out now? Is it time? Is it ready? Because we want it now. Should we take it out now? And of course, the answer would be no, not until the timer goes off, or not until, it's been 30 minutes or whatever it is. And we know that if we don't wait long enough, then it's not going to be ready, and we're going to be sad because it's all doughy inside and tastes like it did when we had a little spoonful, right? But if we wait too long, then it could get burnt, and we know that we don't like our baked goods, especially our pancakes, when it's been burnt on one side. So knowing the time, or having the time, God's perfect timing, is always important for us to remember that He has His perfect timing. And the reason for that is because He wants what is good for us. That doesn't mean we get everything that we want, but we know that the promises of God, when He promises something to us, then His timing is what we are waiting for. And then there's things that we pray for, and those may not be promises, but it's things that we're praying for from God. And we can take hope in the fact that God is listening to us and that He is answering us. And again, His timing is what we're waiting on. Hopefully you've enjoyed this activity, and I hope you've enjoyed tasting your activity this week. But I hope it's a good reminder to us all that God's timing is perfect and it is good, and so we just sometimes have to wait. We invite you to join us this Sunday. It's Easter Sunday, and it's the last part of our series, Living Free.